So what, Billy, that we're gonna have to speak up?
No
Yeah.
batteries.
Oh, no batteries? All right.
Who's,
Chuck, do you wanna unmute? Oh, you are unmuted.
someone's not muted there for, or,
Remember you can just hit the, did you get it? Yeah, wait, I gotta. Those are dead, yeah. I tried to switch out the batteries.
They're all bad.
But I've gotta grab a card today at the store, so I'm gonna grab batteries and.
All right, we're gonna get going here. Time for the road and bridge superintendent fall.
He was gonna be in and then he ran up the Burt Weaver Road they started working on, you know where that is? You go out the hall, you go down south, and you take, it goes up over, comes out at Jim's exit. Well, there's a great big washout out there and he was afraid somebody's gonna drive in and wash it completely out. So he was up there with the locators and they're gonna have to haul like 6 to 10 loads of rock, big rock in there. And dig up one culvert and put it back into the drains, because everybody's driving out in the guys' fields and getting further and further out. So he just called just a minute ago and he just said that he has to be there to locate and make sure that we don't dig something up. He said, other than that, everything, fence is done up here. He said it looks awesome. And the next door neighbor wants to be their fence done too, as long as that guy's there, which nothing to do with us, but it's gonna be put right on what it's supposed to be. Cause it ranges from 8 feet out to 15, it's gonna be
It's a Rumsey.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
it's gonna be the 30s. They didn't have no problem with that, but our side's done. Took care of- Paul said, look, you look really good, so. Other than that, that's about it. They're playing, they did some cold patching, helped drumming there a little bit, and they fixed it by the ambulance shed down there. They put millings down, and packed it down that, so quick, because it was flooding going into the ambulance shed, got that fixed, so.
Well, you mentioned to him, it's just, he's waiting for hot weather. Next week is gonna be hot weather.
Yeah, he's got plans already, so for the millings. And there's some on, he said we could call him if we need to.
So we got the funds to do all that. With the millings for this, for the rest of this year.
No, because he's broke. His budget's broke. So I think that's why it's kind of waiting until July gets. So then the guy can actually, we might have to take a little out of the field. We still have 10 days of home down there of millings to get out. If it's gonna be.
On this,
hot,
on this budget.
Huh?
On this budget.
I don't, know. No, he don't have no more money.
So you look in 2 weeks, it's gonna be fiscal year 22, so we're starting a new budget.
Right.
But I mean, we gotta get him out of there too, and if it's gonna be that hot.
But I was thinking,
Bob Weaver on that one, on that rock that they're hauling out to Burt Weaver, or he said he wouldn't charge for it till after July. So at least that'll go on the next, so there'll be, you say 10 votes. So, but we're hauling it ourselves. But he had to start on that this morning, because that guy that lives up there, I mean, his road, somebody's gonna go after him.
well, I'm getting at, but we're still gonna haul the millings next week when it's hot.
That was Sumner's plans. He called him, he said, any questions, just call him. He's up on that first week, he's got good service, so we can call him on the phone, we can ask him about that. I can call him. They used the millings in Drummond there, and then they were gonna, that, he's worried about laying the millings down up the Black Pine Road, because they're gonna start hauling all that waste out.
Right, so we gotta wait on that.
Yeah, that one he wanted to wait on, and then there was Henderson Creek, he talked about putting the millings and finishing that where we left off. We didn't finish it last year.
Can you smell it?
We're supposed to smoke away from them.
Yeah, could you call in?
I
He-
don't-
the Chuck was gonna ask about home. It's just 800.
It's already sorted.
He said he'll call right now. Other than that, I asked Billy, if she could get a card and we could sign it and give it to Lynn. her husband died Sunday.
Oh,
Hmm.
I think that's all everything down that way is there's some potholes they're fixing. They helped Drummond fix a few of their potholes using their cold mix, not ours, because they've got some. So we had Nate, he didn't have nothing to do for 2 days, so he's down in Patrick. See.
Yeah, you guys already got a contract with them.
good morning, Brent County Commissioners.
Good morning.
Yeah, Paul, I just wonder about those millings, you know, it's supposed to be 100 degrees next week, and sound like a good time to put them down, but we don't have any money.
Right.
So what's the plan?
Well, I don't really have one. It's, we haven't really laid a plan out to start putting them anywhere. I'd like to put some up on, Henderson Creek Road.
I told
We
him about
looking to have
that.
some. What's that?
I told him about that one,
Oh,
but
and
I guess it comes down to if we have to, valley dump whatever, a person maybe can see if, well, they wouldn't get paid for a month anyway, so we'd actually be in the next year. We might have to take a little bit out of field to just cover, to get rid of them millions. And then we'll next time study it way better.
How much you think?
I don't know, or what do you figure 10 days of hauling there?
yeah, probably,
Just depends on who we can find too, everybody's busy.
right.
Well, you have
Well,
to
on
go
one
down
road, I
to-
think we should, it would be nice to put them down on Rumsey and do that Rumsey Road to the bottom of the hill from the highway. Because we need to haul gravel there anyway, we might as well use what we have.
Yeah.
And I think if we do the Rumsey Road, do the approach, the East Fork approach, and put some, and try to get what we can get done on Henderson Creek Road, even if we did part of it, half of it, probably gonna pretty much take what we have.
Sounds good. I guess you're gonna have to I guess you'll make a plan, let us know.
Well, I mean, if you guys wanna start laying them, we better decide right now, because I'm gonna have to start getting some guys together.
So how much you think? Give me
Well-
an estimate.
If we can get, three or four Jippo trucks, just figure that, just figure $5,000 a day and do what we can do in a week and see where we're at.
5 days. 5,000 just for the home.
So
5,000.
So hauling, we have contracts with people, right?
That's
I
why
think
we
we do.
put it out there.
Go down the priority list.
Yeah,
I'm,
I'm going on
And
what
I'm
you
not- I
guys
think-
feel.
Right.
What do you think, Paul?
well, no matter what, it's gotta be, get paid later, but, if we can either do it now or do it toward the end of July, it's still gonna be 100 degrees, but it'd be nice to get them, well, one thing in our contract, we can't work down there over the 4th of July weekend, and in that, I don't have that in front of me right now, but there's a certain amount of days that we can't work.
Oh, yeah, they had that camping thing
Or family reunion.
who?
where we have a milling store. We signed it and said we wouldn't be in there during that. Because they have a bunch of campers, which is, we don't.
But could we do it next week?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's later in July. It's not June.
Yeah, I think that's over the 4th of July, isn't it, Blaine?
I think that's.
Yeah.
You're looking right now
Yeah.
at next week is, you're going into the
Well, they'll
almost
be,
holiday weekend.
they're gonna be coming. Remember last year they came, they were in there just there at the last part of June. So we might have to wait another week or after the 4th, and then the person can start and actually work.
We could call Linda here right now to get the exact dates.
Well, they won't have nobody working the 5th, because that's the holiday after, so, I mean,
Yeah,
you've got,
next week, I'm just gonna make a suggestion. I'm not an expert on this, but next week looks, I would think, because of going into the holiday weekend, would not be a good plan. If you're looking at the 100-degree weather, and the 100-degree weather, I think we're probably gonna get in July and August.
We don't
So I
know.
think we need to plan just a little bit better.
unlike you on that, because if we go next week, trying to start with the 28th, and then if people start showing up in there
Yeah.
Wednesday, and then we got shut down, and that's just kind of a waste of time, not 3 days.
Why
and then-
don't we do this? What if we did this, just, do a couple of smaller things we wanna do, like, do our approach, East Fork approach, and, that type of stuff, we'll just do it with our own stuff,
I think it'd
and
be
do it the
better,
first couple of days next week.
that way at least we
And
can move on it.
Okay,
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's just go that route, that we can get lined out a little better and have a solid week where we don't have holidays, and just don't wanna get in that big argument with them down there again.
No, well, we can't do it anyway.
I know, but
Well,
I'm just
there.
saying, it's just.
Right. Okay, well, that's what we'll do then.
Alright.
Okay,
And
so,
then,
okay, go ahead.
Any other spots that, any of you guys think you'd like to put?
Not right now, I can't think of any. You got down lower pretty well covered. There's, like I said, Henderson Creek, and then if we come up and do a few of these other approaches and that, I think we're good for now.
Well, it'd be nice to get some out by Stumptown. We need to do some in the Heberg area for sure. I mean, that's my opinion, but.
Well, and some of that too, we might want to, if we're gonna do some of them feeder area on them bigger ones, we might want, that's where we should probably wait and use the bigger trucks so we get more done.
Yeah.
during the day.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it, Paul, and then let us know where around Peaburg you want it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah, and then, the fence is, well, you guys probably talked about that already, but
Yep, I already know.
anyway. All right, good enough. Well, thank you guys.
yeah, well, thanks for calling in.
thanks, Paul.
That's it.
Bye.
Other than that, I don't know much on the road stuff.
I'd like to ask a question. About roads.
He's a terror.
You want to come up? I can't hear
I mean, so over, I live in Black Pine,
you. What's your name?
Oliver, Arlington.
You can have a seat right there if you want.
First question I'd like to ask is, that Black Pine Road going up to the mine, is that the county's responsibility?
Gets the lower part where we maintain that
Up
upper
to the
part.
county.
And that's-
Okay,
The rest of there used to be a sign up there said no, non-maintained. It's, it's still that.
okay, well, I was told yesterday that it was the county's responsibility, and the person that is using that road is building that house up there. He has destroyed that road. He didn't plow it, kept it open all winter, he didn't plow it properly. He stacked the ice and snow in a narrow area. And consequently, when it melted, it took all of the top of that road off. And right now, it's
Did you-
very,
Did you get hold of Paul and have him go look at
I
that?
haven't talked to Paul about it, no.
Yeah, he-
My first stuff is right here.
Yeah, he's,
I did talk to the Forest Service because the problem continues on from there. When you get to the top of that road, above that middle cattle guard and that switchback, he's taken that little 2 tracks in this grass, made it full-time highway over his property, just to cut down his travel time. He doesn't have permits. He's been told not to do it, and he continues to do it. And every morning, there's at least 15 outfits go by there. They'll win for the election. Up there. That problem, like settled separately, but that road needs something done to it. You can't drive a truck up it now. You'll take the front end right out.
Up above that cat.
That's right, you can't. So I understand you folks are planning on hauling some stuff up there. We have to fix that.
Have you talked to the city about that? Cause they have you talked to the city about that? Cause they're putting in contracts out to start hauling stuff from out here up to Black Pine. And we don't wanna do nothing with that road till we figure out what they're actually gonna do. Cause then there's
Well, I
gonna be
haven't
sick.
talked to anybody, this is my first stop.
I'm just saying, though, that
That's-
So I can't remember, we have to maintain above the cattle guard?
That's what I was told.
it's an unmaintained
So the-
road. I don't think.
By statute, the county commission determines the degree of maintenance on the county road, so it'd be discretionary on for the
But
commission.
now when there was some contracts that were out, when they were hauling all that stuff up there, so we'd have to look to see who actually.
Yeah,
There was stuff, when they were hauling last year and out of the.
They didn't hurt that road at all. This guy,
I know, but
water,
Who is this guy?
I don't know his name, he's supposed to be raising llamas up there now, and he's locked off all of the access in and out of that development they've got up there.
so yeah, I don't think we should discuss that person, since he's not.
I don't know his name, and that problem probably gonna get, the Forest Service is gonna do something about that. I know over in our property over there, Jackson Creek, they couldn't get the people to do what they wanted, so they got a big trench across there. But I mean, you're talking about extremes, and that's not the same as the Black Pine Road.
I think you need to get a hold of Paul Hall, have him go up there with you and you can show him what all you're seeing and he can bring it back to the commission, because that's his job. And then we'll know, and then we can talk to Linda on, and look at the other contracts and that, and talk to the city and see what they're gonna do.
Well, if they're hauling that stuff from the ponds up there, I mean, I think we're gonna have to go up there bladed at least.
Well,
You're
Barb,
gonna
I
have to
gotta
put
make
out
sure
all the
there's some of that sports service truck, and we don't have that under the green.
I thought it was county road all the way to mine.
It's the county road all the way.
I always thought it was.
Everybody told me, Joe, just now that it was, so I don't know. Bladen isn't gonna get it done. We're gonna have to have material in there. Because the water ran down there 6 inches deep between those two berms, sort of pushing the snow over so that the melt runoff would run down.
Well, yeah, I mean, there should have been
It's right
drainage,
into the
but
road, and it
that
just-
could have happened anyway.
just-
I mean, it happens a lot.
Well, that's the
You
thing,
know.
Paul needs to go up and look at it, and maybe if that guy's damaged the county road, then that's his responsibility to fix it. We don't have the money and stuff to, I mean,
I know if I-
and if the city's gonna start hauling truck after truck up there, they better be ready to.
So they're gonna have to fix the road down below that first incline too.
I
Not the
know, but
bottom.
we don't wanna do nothing till we know for
I
sure, because we
understand.
lay the millings down, you know, all right, we've been on the road, work, and
Yeah.
they're just gonna tear it up.
It's gonna cost a few bucks to fix either road.
Okay, well, let's have Paul look at it.
Okay.
And get
You
back to
got a
us.
number?
I don't have Paul's number.
All right.
Okay, great, thanks. Appreciate it.
No, thank you.
We have a public comment from Elena.
Elena? Elena, you got a comment?
Yes, thank you, Elena Gagliano. I believe it was last week that I brought up Black Pine Road with Paul out. And I also discussed it with the mayor of Phillipsburg. And he was going to get in touch with Paul also about that sewer sludge being hauled up Black Pine. But yeah, so, and I believe they said, I think Paul said they won't be able to do anything until September, October. Otherwise, it'd be just a waste of money doing anything with black pine. And
Right.
so, right, thank you. I think that's what happened, and the road is getting worse because you do have other trucks going up. So
Well,
that's all.
Yeah, we
sorry.
don't want to, we don't want to work on that blacktop and then have it all torn up again. So we were gonna
Right.
kind of,
That's
yeah.
kind of what Paul said
but
also.
right
and,
now, we're talking about above that.
Well, above that, that's not county. I mean, it's not a, it doesn't affect anybody up there. It's a dirt road. The loggers go up there.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Yeah, get a hold right away and get one up there with you.
Okay, I will. Thank you very much.
Okay, now it's time for Georgetown Lake outflow. And it looks like we have a problem. Because we're not getting any, it's not raising any this week, so. And it's supposed to be really hot and dry for the next 10, 14 days at least. So I think we're stuck just keeping it at 30. And any comments?
And it's consistent with the first order, it says 30 CFS unless Fish and Game wouldn't consent to anything this time anyway.
Stokey, are you on? Is he muted?
This is him. Unmute him.
How's that?
There we go.
That's good.
Well, I don't know of any way to make more water, so
Yeah.
I think that's all you can do.
Well, we
Okay.
didn't plan on upping it anyway, so we're just staying at that 30, because that's what we're set at. They're gonna start haying in that anyway, so it's gonna help the creek a little bit down below. Maybe absorb a little more because of quick rain.
So I was hoping we'd get a little more inflow. So it looks like the inflow is about 30, right?
Well, I don't know how it dropped. I guess I can't believe it. I don't know. It's just weird that last week it was,
Yeah, it was 60,
twice that.
yeah, it was 68,
And then we had that.
but we
rain,
had those
so
storms.
Inflow coming from,
Just little creeks and everything up there and then Silver Lake and stuff like that. I guess we can make sure and get a whole date on and have them put something on for next week again. We see. We can figure out what we actually have coming in, so we can tell.
Want me to email?
Yeah, will you blink, please? That's about the best bet. He's the one that seems to know how much input is coming in.
So is
It's gonna
there,
be scary this year. I mean, it's hitting everywhere now. East Fork's down. Willow Creek's still up a little bit in the lower, Willow Creek down there, but other than that, it's not good. The river's really rough. But they're really pulling the water through. Everywhere you see, the tables are running, and it's something. It'll be scary.
well, we're not as bad as Lake Mead.
You know, you go over east of our state, it's really bad.
Anyway, is there a motion to keep it the same?
I'll make a motion to keep it at the 30.
I'll second it.
Any other public comment on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. I guess we'll go off for a few minutes. Time for Danny Young proposed to address parking problem? Go.
So I'm just not here to complain about anything, as long as you know that. I'm here to plant an idea. We were just talking about how busy Phillipsburg is, and it's getting busier all the time. And now there's two big building projects that will be starting probably in the spring that will generate, one building has 10 hotel rooms and an apartment, I mean, a restaurant. And the other one will have real retail businesses and apartments. And so that will just exacerbate the problem. So I was thinking the other day that we have that huge parking lot at the school. And I wanted to ask you to think about and seriously consider paving that and lining it, perhaps with a few RV spots and the rest for cars and trucks, so that in the summertime, people can walk downtown. And it would also help the residents. You hear them complain all the time, I can't find a place to park. And that would give quite a few more spaces for the city. So I just kind of see it as the county and the city working together to help the parking problem. Got no idea about cost. Just want you to think about that. And it's a great way for you to cooperate with the city too and help us out, because it's terrible.
Blaine?
So the county commission per se would have any jurisdiction over the parking area for the school would be the school board. But as far, I mean, I guess what you're saying is potentially partnering up for some costs or something like that. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that can be done. I mean,
If we
yeah,
have,
yeah, yeah.
right now. road is slow.
So I need to go to the
School
school
board,
board.
yes.
Okay, 'cause I thought it was county property, so.
I'll double check that, but if the school district property would be the school board, Sarah Rouse, but I'll double check that, it's not, I don't believe there's any type of lease, it's just school property. Let me double check.
So Blaine, would you get a hold of Diana and let her know that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, I'll do that today.
Oh, wonderful.
Dan, you have a comment?
Yeah, thanks. I just appreciate these folks coming up and, you know, trying to sort of plant the seed. I find it interesting, the concept. I know, having done a little bit of paving here in town, that's very expensive. But that doesn't mean that there can't be, take the concept and maybe whittle it down a little bit, maybe it's a bunch of grading, a bunch of gravel and sprucing it up, something to that effect. Maybe it's millings. I don't know if you guys got a bunch of millings left.
We have some, but we already got spots
Simon
going on, but
So-
by next year though, they're gonna do a bunch more, so it might be something that could work in.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, we're always looking at we look at the best case scenario and then we work our way toward reality sort of.
Well, maybe
And
if
so,
somebody else could,
conceptually, I think it's a kind of an interesting idea for sure. The parking is an issue and it's only gonna increase. So having said that, and I did look on the cadastral and I'm by no means an expert in that, but the cadastral indicates that it is common. But we don't know, you can follow
Yeah,
up, obviously. I don't know, but that's what it is. I don't think this is the best, but I'm just here to support to say, you know, these guys want to plant the seed and I'm willing to participate a little bit in it and see where we can take it to, reality wise, so.
we're probably not gonna have the money for doing the millings next year.
I
Do
will
it.
wait and see what really everything comes down.
You know, if they could come up with some money, somebody could come up with some money from someplace else.
There are issues with county and stuff, letting them set up to, I mean, the millions are free, but the trucking costs.
Right.
We're gonna be running it here. Paul just said today it's 5,000 a day. That's just the trucking.
I can tell you, we did one side of Granite Street blacktop, you know, asphalt, year before last, it was $34,000.
Man, I
One
don't,
side of one
I
block.
don't think we could ask.
You know, but again, I'm just doing a reality check. That doesn't mean that we couldn't do something that's almost there, but not quite there, sort of like a different sort of billing things.
Well, something to really look into,
Yeah,
if we can get that other bunch of millings, you know, just have to figure out how to pay for the trucking and.
Yeah.
If we could use, you know, and then the mag Megville went up too. 'cause we
Yeah,
got-
we're,
It's,
Is,
you have to have it on there.
is that a sealer?
It just binds it better, and you can pack it harder, and then you, like a lot of the roads we're doing now, we're gonna chip seal just to keep them, so guys like to probably lay chip seal over the top. of it. They're thinking seriously enough about putting dampers and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, we don't know anything about paving or road construction.
And it just keeps
So-
going up like everything else, everything, it's just the oil, it's just.
yeah, I was
Sure.
pretty flabbergasted by the back prices here.
Well, I was reading where the city and the county and Drummond are all working together, and I thought, well, why not just plant the idea and keep it in your mind that it's something that we really need for our community.
One
And I know
thing-
that the city will look to, and I'll be glad to go to school as well.
The infrastructure, I mean, it's, you've got more and more and more, now you say they're building hotels and shops and the infrastructure is just not there. So I think maybe start thinking about this becoming a resort area. I mean, really seriously, the good part of it outweighs the bad part of it because that money goes into infrastructure. And it's getting to the point where we as taxpayers are supporting the trade or the people, the tourists. And this is just something that needs to be maybe thought about too.
Okay, so the process for that, would we come to you guys first? On the 3% resort tax, I mean, that's what it is, right? Do we have to go to the state legislature for that?
It goes
No,
on the
it would-
ballot,
It
No,
goes on the
the
ballot
people
here.
vote for it.
right here locally.
Okay, so.
It's been
we have
through
to-
legislature that they said, town, I think they did.
I can give you a little background here. We were, it was okay, we met all the requirements, we need the town.
Right.
All right, so that's all done, that groundwork's been laid. It's just a question of getting it on the agenda, having a discussion, moving from discussion to a vote, voting to put it on the ballot. Because ultimately, all the council can do is put it on the ballot, it's people make the decision based
Okay. But so it's a town ballot then?
that, the way it's constructed now, the district that's been approved is town. You can
Okay.
do a district outside. I assume you could maybe do the school district.
Well, see, when you did the school district, this is just a thought, you'd get the Ranch at Rock Creek. You'd get
You get
Discovery.
Right.
Okay,
I've got a big file on this stuff, and you guys are
Okay.
more than welcome to have it. I
All right.
got all that
This
kind of-
is just absolutely something that needs to be thought about.
The subject came up 5 years ago. And
Yeah,
it was one of those situations where it was standing. And I wasn't the mayor at the time, but I told the council, if you're gonna promote this stuff, you gotta do your homework. You gotta, because there's gonna be basic questions there, and you're not gonna be able to answer. And essentially, the first question was like, how much you gonna make? Right?
right.
Well, it's a
Sure.
logical question, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing sort of withered on the vine, but all the pre-work has been done. So,
Oh,
Is
cool.
the-
That's a great idea.
Has the Chamber of Commerce been supportive of it, or is
I
that?
would say at that time, the initial conversation, they had a lot of questions, basically. I wouldn't say they were like, don't go about it. They were necessarily like, can't you find another way? I don't think, what I know, in terms of how it's put together, there's also a small kickback on property taxes. That you get reimbursement on your property taxes, and also there's a percentage of it that goes into admin for the businesses that are doing their own administration of it. There's a point or something like that. There's a cost incurred in that or put into that for that reason. I know other places that have done it have had a lot of pushback at the beginning, and then once they did it, they keep.
West Yeltsin.
West Yellowstone's one of the premier ones. Whitefish does it. So, yeah, St. Regis, obviously is a little hamlet, but it's got a highway there. So the thing of it is with that stuff is that it's not everything, it's not across the board. Some things you can't tax, right? And so, for instance, recreational vehicles, that it's a luxury tax in the sense that If you buy food at a restaurant, or, it's taxed. If you go to the grocery store,
Right.
it's not taxed. However, if you stop and you put the taco into the microwave and cook it, then it is.
Sorry, Granite County Commissioner's Office.
Anyway, but that's not
He said
insurmountable,
yes.
those are just like, people
Yeah.
need to know the specifics.
Scott just gave me Paul Alt's number, 559-5640, which is the wrong number.
Who is this?
559-0640.
That's what I dialed and it says it's not working number.
I'll check in, I'll call you. What's your number? Sorry.
370-7721.
Okay, I'll call and get it. I'll find out. Sorry.
Okay, Scott,
Yeah.
I have one comment. I don't know if I made clear. I don't expect the county to repair that road. I think whoever did the damage to it should repair that road.
That's why I said that we need to get Paul to go up and look at it and see, and if the guy did, then he should be liable for if he's the one that tore the road up.
That's gonna be really hard to prove this time.
Well, there's less of plow marks are there and stuff,
Yeah.
that if he dug it out.
Pictures or something.
I'll have to look and see if I have any pictures.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you bet.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
So, no problem.
What was
Earlier
your
today.
number? You're gonna call me back, right? Okay, bye.
Yes, I'll call you back.
All right, so thanks you guys. 'cause I
Yeah.
think that's,
Is there any other comments on Zoom?
I'll look at ownership and get back to you right away.
Okay, okay,
Seem to get a school district, like I said,
So,
okay. I think we go that way.
and people need to understand that
3241.
The tax and non-tax part of it, the property tax kickback, there's a lot to it.
I mean, you
All
gotta
right.
have, what, 3 cents to a cup of coffee? That was a buck, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's $5.
actually,
so-
Virginia City has it too.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, you need to get, if you want, you need to plan this possibly,
It should be on the
to
website.
get it on the 22 ballot. You wanna get it on a general ballot.
Special election.
You're running $2,000, $3,000.
Well, we haven't had a general election in 2 cycles, so that's not like, yeah, okay, I just was curious, I was thinking it was $1,500 or something, so it's not. If that were.
Killing if they had an empty lot outside of town and shuttle people and park their cars.
I mean,
Maybe
there
there's
are
ideas.
some spaces there too.
And just on the subject, and I'm gonna leave on the subject of parking, for example, my place, you know, my place where I'm at right there, I just have my place surveyed, and, survey pins are about 12 to 15 feet in from Sampson, which, that's fine, that's another 15 feet of lawn I mow and take care of. If they scrape that off and did, angle parking into there, there's another 8 or 10 spots there, and I have no problem in front of my house. Like,
Yeah.
I would advocate for that sort of thing. Having said that, I realize that that's the state highway, right? So that's another level of complication, right?
Yeah.
But if it weren't, I'd be like, scrape away there, you know, get some, back it down, put some gravel there in front of my house. I'd have no problem with that. So there's places that within town that there's so much encroachment that there may be more parking than there appears to be. And I know we will run into problem and have recently with folks going, that's my lawn, and we're like, no, you're leaning on a fire plug as you're saying. It's not your lawn. You know, and in reality, that we're just beginning to address all that. And certainly, we're not gonna wipe off, we're not gonna take someone's porch off, but there has to be a happy medium at some point here. If in front of that porch, there's an additional 15 feet of grass, maybe we end up taking it out. This is conjecture at this point, but there's some things we can do.
Even before it's being paved, something to be worked out where use.
And that's kind of where I was, that's where I was going, because we're facing the RV, just the RV turnaround situation right now. And I just told my committee, you guys gotta get on this, you gotta drive the thing, you gotta start to the highway. If it takes 20 signs, I don't care. Every 10 feet, it says continue, turn here with the RV situation. There's been some modest effort from the chamber and so forth, put a sign on a barn or what have you. That's not working. It's gotta be direct and in your face and directions, like you're gonna turn right here and you're gonna turn up here. We're in the beginning of trying to figure out the logistics. But that's the town's responsibility. We're gonna do it. And this other parking thing, that is the town.
Yeah, talk about them signs and that, it might be a little Paul too, we talked to somebody over at Makers that, they're a lot cheaper than.
Oh, good. All right. I'll let Sam know that, because we're always looking at, we're gonna make a big purchase, because we
Yeah,
gotta
I
start.
guess I, yeah. he
Okay.
done, so.
I'll let Sam.
Okay,
Anyway, thank
sound
you.
good,
All right,
thanks.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. All right, yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, are you-
Well, I didn't know the county owned that.
Yeah, but in mine, I mean, if
Should
you
have
didn't know that the county shop wasn't.
I guess have
Clean.
Linda look into that, see if we do, sure. huh?
Yeah, then, yeah, because there could be potentially parking there before it's paid. In any event, I think you'd want to work, the county owns that, I think you'd want to work with the school. 'Cause
Oh,
You
yeah.
have people parked outside the school, and you gotta
No,
work
I
together.
agree with that, I guess I.
So where's these businesses in this hotel going up at?
It's right in that, over by Jim Mountain in that empty lot where there's like the pottery place and then the empty lot.
Oh, really?
brewery. Yeah, I
Down
think,
spot,
yeah, I think they're doing like the bottom levels, all retail stores, and then it's going straight up into a hotel.
But she
Buy
said a
beer from
restaurant
first
too,
time.
Restaurant part of that, or the business part?
It might be, I don't
She
know,
said-
there's so many
yeah.
projects going on for those.
Okay, it's time for COVID-19 updates.
So, Dustin sent me an email. He is working out of town today. So there are no COVID cases. He is just about done with his deliverables for the fourth quarter. And then he should be able to submit them later to the state, or submit them this week to the state. He took down all the COVID signs. If
Wouldn't
there's,
that be second quarter? Or in the second quarter? Hopefully.
Hopefully. He took down all the signs. He said if you missed any, let him know. Many of the signs were already gone or defaced. The sheriff wants the sign material for their new shooting range, so he's gonna take them up to there this week. And
What if the government changes their mind about come back and sign, whether we let them shoot them up and then we have to go back and buy more signs? I think we should hold on. to
Yeah.
it for-
okay, I
Yeah.
will,
I don't think we better shoot them up. We just spent thousands of dollars.
don't,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I mean.
no,
I'd
that's
like
very
to.
good idea, very good idea.
I'd like to shoot them
Yeah.
up. but I mean, who's to say what might change here in the next,
Where we're gonna store them.
maybe put them up in a shed up here somewhere. There's lots of, they're not, yeah. I just don't want to shoot.
Good idea.
his last little bit just says Granite County is 33% fully vaccinated. That was the last note from him,
33,
33% fully vaccinated.
that's crap. Oh, yeah, you're homeopathic. You should turn it in and say I've been homeopathic.
Yeah, does that count?
I don't know, did you see that? Is it, so employers can now require you to be vaccinated before you can come back to work?
I don't know. Still,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I see some NFL players are gonna refuse to do it.
Really?
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I read the first article because I was surprised, and then I went to look at the follow-up and.
it still should be up to the person. I know that, you know. You're putting yourself in so much harm to somebody else. I
Yeah,
just
the
don't
peop-
agree with being told, you can't go back to work unless you get, that's a kind of discrimination to me.
The people that said stay home if you feel uncomfortable kind of lost the argument there.
So you just don't get fired because you didn't want to take a shot, which the shot might do something to you, and then you go back and sue the people that made you get the shot.
That'd be a good idea, huh?
I mean, there's so much, I think
It's gotta be individual choice.
I don't agree with that. How are you guys?
Sounds like
Hello.
we entered into an interesting conversation. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes late.
You're, that was just the COVID update, so you're like,
Oh, on the COVID update, I talked to Jackie this morning. And she said now that, their incident management team thing, she said they disbanded that a while ago. They aren't doing their incident management team thing any longer. And she recommended that, the FEP report go back to being quarterly. Instead of bi-weekly.
that's what happened in all the quarterly meetings. You had like the health nurse gave a report, FAP, Tri-County Sanitarian, tobacco prevention specialist, and all give reports quarterly.
We can talk about that at 10.
If you say so.
Can I just ask, since that's such a big part of the health board, why that's not being discussed at our time? We have a special time set aside.
It was that way when I started.
So it was originally I think set up for the incident management team report, and so it was done separately. But you're right, yeah, it should,
It's so health
Yeah.
related and we don't
Yeah.
usually have that much to talk about, so.
you're meeting every other week.
It makes it feel more important.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Why don't you guys come up here? I can't hear a word you're saying.
Oh,
She
I've
was-
never had anybody tell me that my mouth isn't big enough.
Wondering why FEP
Me
wasn't
neither.
part of the action board of health already. And it originally started as, last spring, we were doing IMT report, about transfer, and then FEP was part of that, so it should have always been included in the board of health. And so,
Not that I don't mind coming 10 minutes early and spending 20 or 25 minutes with you all, but I just was like, it's such a big part of who we are. So did I miss the numbers where?
No COVID cases in our county, it's 30% or 33%.
I've been seeing like
33%
they're
vaccinated, right? Fully vaccinated.
Well, let's go ahead and just move into county board of health updates, recommendations, all that stuff. And I guess you're chairman.
Yeah. You're not
Go for
here.
it.
That was,
You may want to go to the tables so they can hear you, but it's kind of, you say it's kind of hard to hear.
You can probably sit up.
Yeah. You guys wanna sit closer
Sorry.
to Chuck so they can hear you in the speaker?
So there's.
opinion of what we were talking about earlier with the COVID signs. I agree with that. I think this is gonna come back with a variant. How much of a variant is gonna be, over the COVID, the original COVID virus, I don't know that it's gonna be that much. Depending on what conspiracy theory you're listening to, this could be an engineered virus and it may mutate down to the common flu. I had said this before in the meeting, I think that even the common flu bug that we've had this year was almost non-existent, and it was because of the masks. And it depends on what side of the fence you're on as far as the masks. I am still doing shift every once in a while at the hospital. We are required to wear masks when dealing with patients in the emergency room. Nurses on the floor are required to wear masks when they are in the patient's room. We have not seen any COVID patients in the last 2 weeks that I have been working. I do on average 1 shift a week, so, and I always ask the doctors that are on shift if they have been seeing COVID. And according to
Freddie Bartlett, who I've seen most of the time, he is not. He's of the opinion, and I am too, that the masks do help. And I think it still should be the choice of the person wearing the mask. If they, if they are, I don't want to say the sick word paranoid about catching COVID, it does help, even with the flu. With the variant, I'm of the opinion that the variant is not going to be that much of a difference over the next, in the oncoming flu season that we're going to see this year. And I think it's because of the masks. So there are good sides. If if you're good, if your health is good, I don't think you're going to see much of a flu problem. Yourself, I don't think we're going to have the flu. Practice the things that we were raised with. Wash your hands after, any contact, wear a mask if you feel appropriate. And it should be up to the individual to wear it. Especially if you're immune compromised, if your health, has had problems with it, and you are immune compromised. Cancer patients under chemotherapy, and under treatment. That is my opinion. And, of the opinion of a few doctors that are. So we get kind of a free opinion on what they're thinking and what they're doing.
Good. I agree with you. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, in the grocery store, I see one person out of maybe 10 or 15 that are in the store wearing a mask. The clerks are not, or once in a while wearing a mask. I see one older lady wearing a mask frequently. But other than that,
I don't know if this is crazy, but I went and got a COVID test because I had to go to the hospital to get some stuff done. And after I've had worse allergies now than I had before. I don't know what they did, but it's like they opened it up.
They opened
there are
I don't think so.
speaking to that,
I think it's pollen is just bad because
speaking to
Last
that,
few
there are
It's just one side though. It's like it's-
You had some, give it to you, Dan.
there are some side effects to the COVID, and I don't think it is from the vaccine that we're receiving.
Oh, he's talking about the test.
Yeah,
I
I
never
mean,
had shots. I never had.
yeah.
I just got that thing rammed up, felt like it shoved it out the back of my head.
My wife, who is not really, she's not a hypochondriac, she's been experiencing shoulder pain and doing some research. That is one of the side effects. You do have neuralgia and muscle pain in the shoulder or the side that's affected
from the shot.
from the shot. Yeah, I had both shots.
Me either.
I
did one
had
on
shoulder
one and
pain,
one
but
on
that's
there.
from torn rotator cuff. But other than that, I do not have any symptoms. My son, he is a career soldier. He contracted the COVID in Poland when he was over there. He got it really bad. They had to ship him back to stateside because he was so sick. And he's still dealing with that. He was over in Madigan, over in Seattle, and he still has problems. He's one of the few people that have had the problems with low O2 saturations, lack of energy, feeling malaise a lot of times. And it was November when he contracted it and they shipped him stateside. He's still dealing with that, but he is of the rare. I think there's like 2 or 3% that have had that problem, and I think there are things that are going on with that vaccine that we don't know about. Look how long they did to research polio. Years getting that. Yeah, we still get the polio vaccine. There are some side effects to it. It's just.
I think everybody's got such different immune system, you don't know how it's gonna come up.
Exactly.
I also think it's interesting that maybe you can help me with this because I don't know. But from what I have seen and heard, it's like if somebody didn't feel good, they went in, they got tested for COVID, but then and that came out negative, but then they didn't get tested for the flu, but yet we say we've got lower flu cases. And so it's like, but they were still sick. So was that happening though? Do you know how often they were testing for the flu after? Because somebody was still sick. They tested for COVID, it was negative, but then they didn't go back and say, okay, well then let me test for the flu, and that is what determines our cases of flu. I'm just asking the medical professional.
There again, viral load is how they detect it. When the doctors that I work with have checked for the flu, their vaccine, their viral load was low enough to not detect it. The same with the COVID. We haven't had COVID in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it all depends on the testing vehicle that they're using.
Yeah.
And the viral load that you have. You may have a little contact in your body's able to fight off the viral load, whether it be COVID or just the common A flu, common influenza A. We're seeing less and less B also. It's almost or what do they call it? Looking for the word extinct, for lack of a better word. The influenza B is not around a lot. Influenza A is still around, but it's, and again, they mutate every year.
Yeah.
That's why it's the CDC and they change it onto what they think it will be from their statistics that they're seeing. So it's basically a crapshoot that you're gonna hit the mark and, you're gonna have the vaccine that will fight the flu that year. Your odds are better in Las Vegas, trying to figure out which one you're gonna get. But I think to answer your question, it's the viral load.
I know, but we didn't say, oh, you don't have COVID, but you have enough of the influenza A, so now you have influenza.
And the doctors will say, you don't test positive for the flu, you don't test positive for COVID. I think you just got a bug. It's making you feel sick. Go home, drink lots of fluids, get plenty of rest. And
I think a lot of people are so nervous and that. they
Exactly.
like this thing where it's in the Zoom right
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
But is your question, are they doing less influenza testing? Is that, I mean,
Well, it just
Is that
seems like we're
testing down?
saying, it just seems like, do we have an accurate reflection of, we had low, quote unquote, we had lower cases of flu when we weren't testing for flu? You got tested for COVID and you either were positive or negative, but there wasn't a test or anybody saying you have influenza A, but yet we're saying we had less cases. Makes utter sense.
I hear what you're saying, and I think I would have to ask the docs if somebody comes in, when we first did this, everybody was taking the people out. We were treating them in their car, we were testing them in the car. And we were doing tests there. To the ratio of testing for regular flu, influenza A or B, I can't be certain to what that ratio was. If they were, I remember them testing for both A and B, especially if we had somebody who's running a fever and feeling, their heart rate goes up, and they were symptomatic.
But that was in the doctor's office, not in my
No,
car.
I'm only speaking to what we did in the ER. So,
Yeah, that's
we
you,
were
but I'm
testing,
just saying in general.
and that has evolved into, okay, we'll put them in room 4, which is a negative flow room, so we're not going to worry about transmitting the virus to somebody else. We're still using the gown and mask and face shields when we do have somebody that suspects that they were COVID positive, or they had contact to somebody who had COVID in the recent 2 or 3 days. But to the ratio that we see, I think my suspect is that they were testing them for the influenza A, and that thereby doc saying, we haven't had influenza A. So I think that I'll have to ask the docs over there to see what
But that's there, I'm saying nationwide.
nationwide, yeah, what's the ratio?
Yeah.
I mean, the ratio is a little higher nationwide versus what we're seeing in Montana. I think it's less than 1% that are COVID positive of the population for the amount of people that tested. We tested what, approximately 160,000 people in Montana. So I don't know, you know.
This is a question that I've had that has come up.
Hopefully that's researched, yeah. that'd be good things.
You know, Mr. Muley may be able to answer that better than I can, because he's got the numbers.
Didn't mean to take up so much time with that. This is
Yeah.
important.
Any public comment? Elena?
Thank you, Elena Gagliano. Maybe I missed something, but who did you decide on the chair of the Public Health Board? Who's the chair?
He is.
Mike
Right, yeah.
Kolarchik.
I'm sorry, who?
Mike Kolarchik.
Okay, and what's your email address? Because I don't see that information on the website.
My private email is mkalarchik@yahoo.com.
That's fine.
mkalarchik@yahoo.com. Okay, thank you. That should be up on the webpage, I think. That would be a good idea, just like the chairs of all the boards and departments. But I'll be sending you some stuff because oh, one other thing, I believe the last time I was down to Maxville, the sign was still up. The county sign.
I saw Dustin taking signs down like almost a
He
day
was
after. you
behind
guys
a
left.
little bit. And he was gonna give-
When was that? When were you down there, Elena?
Well, let's see. We went to Missoula and I looked over there and I saw the sign. It was day before yesterday, maybe?
Well, he said he took him.
Saturday
I'll
was the
look on
day.
way down. I'll look on the way down. Elena.
Thank you.
Should we make a decision on storing the signs?
Yes. She's gonna tell Dustin to take them up to the county shop. We can put them out, they got a couple of sheds there, we can put them out there.
We have 1.069 million people in Montana. 60,000.
No, that's how many tests. He said that's how many tests.
Huh?
That's how many were tested.
Oh. That's.
So on the agenda, you do have the appointment of the local health officer. So that's something we have to discuss.
I had not received a response back from Dr. Khan, so I texted her. And she responded that it should be fine, she just hasn't had an opportunity to draft a response yet. So. That's all I got.
So Karen is gonna be.
I hope so, I think so, that's all I have received back, so.
There is another doctor here in town, I believe, Dr. Cross. He has residence here in Phillipsburg, and he's a physician that works with Community Hospital of Anaconda also. I don't know.
I reached out to him
Oh, you did?
and I woke him up because he's in Europe.
Oh.
Sailing. So,
So the.
Don't we have to have somebody appointed, just like this
By the
week?
end of the month. So we have until.
So that's today.
We have, so you guys sent Kira an offer letter and gave her until the end of the month to reply, which is June 30th. And we have to have somebody by June 30th sign the standing orders to be able to administer COVID vaccines and any vaccinations. And I've been working with Jackie on that.
So we have to do it now. This is the last
We can't
one.
Get a response from them. We need a response from them.
And you've given her, in your letter you sent, says she has till the 30th to send you a response.
Could, would you be willing to do it at like an interim for like 2 weeks until we get there?
Yeah, I don't know how much.
We
weight
said
that
an
would have.
RM can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
don't
thought you
think-
were
It has to be an MP or a.
Or a.
oh, I
MP.
thought you were an MP.
No.
Oh, sorry. That one's out. So the offers made to her, she said, she just needs a form of
She
response.
said, yeah, she said it should be fine. She just hasn't had a chance
Yeah,
to draft
so I-
her response yet.
I think,
Have a bail agreement.
yeah, so all she does is have to say yes and we have a deal.
Yeah, I told her as soon as I get a response from her, I'm planning on driving over to her office and have her.
So can we appoint her on the condition she says yes?
You already, yeah, you already
You
did,
already
yeah,
did.
Commissioner already did, so you're good. And this, the local health officer really does work under the board, so the Board of Health could do that as well. Confirm that if you'd like.
Confirm that we offered it to her.
It could make, Board of Health could, do a motion to approve her as, local health officer subject to her approval, her consent.
I'll make that motion.
The second.
So you say any discussion on the motion?
Any discussion on the motion to make Pierpont the county health officer? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Ayes have it.
Ayes have it.
Oh, it went on.
So the question comes up if the chair can make motions, and yeah, you can chair and you can make motions.
I motion that we,
Well, I wasn't chair, he's a chair.
Yeah.
I made the motion.
But he had seconded, so I just saying that's fine for him to second.
I think she seconded it.
Oh, okay, I thought you seconded, all right.
So we're all legit. Think. I'll say, is anything else?
Were you gonna talk about, whether you're gonna go back to having quarterly meetings with the reports, or just continue on as doing every other week?
I think quarterly, I think it's around now that people are starting to get busier and busier now that I can still go back to quarterly.
Yeah,
I
we
make
do.
a motion to go back to quarterly.
No second.
You all right, Lawrence, with that?
I think it'd be like, it was always like, you can do it anytime, like a January and then April and then July, and so that worked for everyone's schedule.
Yeah. Are they during the commission meeting or are they in the?
Historically, they do it like 4 to 5 on that set Tuesday, but
Could we amend that in case there is special circumstance?
yeah, you can always have special meetings.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a spike in their numbers. Should be-
Yeah.
So you say any discussion?
any discussion as to the changing the quarterly meetings?
Nope.
And does that vote on that too?
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed? It is adopted that the meetings be changed to quarterly meetings unless there is a change in the COVID status.
Perfect.
So So the next meeting would be when?
This is June. I was gonna kind of mimic them off of the safety meetings, because those are quarterly, and we just had a safety meeting.
I think board here could, you know, you could, so I would think just having it on a, like the whatever, third Tuesday or whatever, so you get it, so it's easy to remember what it is, but it's up to board health.
10 or 2?
I think it's 4 to 5, is what I wrote.
I just assume up at that, because there's a lot of times we just sit there and wait for the 4 to 5. I just assume have it, I can get it, get out. of the way.
Yeah, we too.
I think it's just simpler that way.
What time?
What are we doing?
On that meeting, have it in the morning, whatever, so we can get it and it's done, and otherwise. It
People
seems
could,
like people already have plans and that.
people could zoom in if they're,
Yeah.
or do written
It's up to you,
reports.
it's up to you guys, so I just think give it in the morning. Then you can move on and do other stuff, otherwise you gotta wait around all day and
Yep.
can't really go nowhere. and
Yep.
worry about stuff, yeah.
So what time is that? Quarterly meetings at 10 AM?
Yeah. That good with you guys?
That's fine.
You guys all right? Fine.
So the next one up is-
So we do them January, April, July, and October. So would we have the next one in July then, starting quarterly?
I should, and then
We could,
can
yeah.
be on rotation.
Okay.
And do you want all the reports of like the health nurse, Tri-County Sanitarian?
Yeah,
Local health officer, FAP?
Well, I think Chad should be here too, just, give us a little update on what's really going on in the county, because there's so much new building, and now we kind of need to know these businesses that are starting, and a lot of
I agree.
people ask me, so, well, do they have? No, I don't. You're kind of stuck in a position, you're like,
Then FAP would be Jim Robinson. And then there's a tobacco specialist, I'm sure that is.
There's a new one. I met
I
her.
just a little updates, they don't have to have a very big, long hourly speech, just something that's an
Yeah.
update, and move
So
on.
why don't we do you guys want to do middle of July, July 13th?
Sounds good.
All right.
That's good for me.
13th.
You guys all right with that?
yeah, I think somebody has a comment.
Oh, Jen Rock.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. The new tobacco prevention specialist, I just want to let you guys know, is Amanda Bohr, and she'll be fully on July 1st. And then I couldn't hear when your next Board of Health meeting is.
July 13th at 10 AM.
Okay, thank you.
Wonder if she heard if it's quarterly. Might wanna let her
Quarter.
know.
Okay, another comment.
From Elena.
Thank you. Let's see. There's the 2 towns involved in Granite County. Does anybody meet with them from the Public Health Board, or you invite them to become involved? I think they are involved, aren't they? The other question I have is, I know a few months ago that you decided you were going to have a commissioner attend the Granite County Health Board meeting, alternating that. And is anybody going to attend their monthly meeting and coordinate with the hospital to keep an update?
I attended one of those meetings, Elena, and the same thing was reported to the commission by Maria from that meeting when she brought her, so it was just a repeat of what the meeting was about for their meeting. So it's just,
I just stay the way we are,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, she gives the written reports, yeah, but nobody attends the meeting where questions come up and, like the shots, the hospital gives the shots, who else gives the vaccines? How many do they have reported? I mean, information like that. Scientific information that they get from somebody regarding the information on this pandemic.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
We get good reports, I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the
We don't
information
need to
would
go
be
into a
made
scientific study every time. And it changes all the time. If we get our little reports, we're fine, aren't we?
I
I
think
mean, I think if Maria does a good job, you guys do a good job, let's just leave.
Muley gets his reports from her also, doesn't it? I think that's,
Plus with that, and that,
Yes.
we get reports all the time.
yeah, that's his SOP. I don't think that would
Yeah.
So my comment is to you, Elena, is that Maria gives us the report after she has attended that meeting, and it's actually, to me, redundant to go to the meeting and then listen to it repeated again when she reports to the commission. So I don't feel it's necessary that the commissioners go up to their meetings once a month.
I agree with you, Blanche.
Yeah. It's just superfluous information.
I mean, if the Board of Health, one of the members wanted to go up, they sure can. And if there's something that they need to report to the Board of Health.
Well, this way it comes back right straight from her. I mean, when we go to these meetings, we bring something back and try to explain it. We're like, oops, well, this way it comes right out of her mouth. No, let's just stay with what we're doing. I agree with you, Blanche.
Well, nothing else. I'll make a motion to adjourn the Board of Health.
The Board of Health.
I'm like, ooh.
I'll second.
Thank you guys for your work. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Are you a relation to the Hinkles in Butte?
In Butte?
Butte? Yeah.
No, didn't know that. No, none of them.
They were involved in the newspaper.
Mm.
I can't remember his first name. Who's a Hinkle?
Hmm.
Went to school. with him.
Oh,
I'm
next time.
You're from Butte then?
Yeah.
And then I turned and I have a George.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe
we'll
not.
go with the
Part of
Montana
it.
standard.
What's that?
I think he retired from Montana standard.
Mm.
Well,
I'm Blaine Braddock, the county attorney, yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thanks for coming out.
Good job. Thanks.
Are we still on?
Yeah, do you wanna go off? And go?
Just curious.
Just in case we say something.
Okay, now we're on proposed to implement a time and attendance system for county.
So this is me and Becky is on vacation. So I'm gonna talk about it. I have way too much information on it and I don't wanna overcomplicate it or like show all of the videos on it. So I gave you guys some like information on basically what a time clock would do. It's basically a workforce management system. It does document management, labor tracking and costing, leave absence management, employee scheduling, and it has all sorts of different application and mobile solutions.
How do they check in then? With a phone?
So there's all sorts of different ways. And so basically is what I've talked to different departments about. So in the courthouse, everyone would just clock in their
Well, it's
computer.
easy here.
Yeah, in the courthouse, it's easy
Now, I'm asking about the road.
for the road crew.
Cause that's
So
where it's all coming from. It's coming about the road crew. And
Well, I don't know if
I
that's,
think
No.
it is, that's my opinion, I can say it.
okay, yeah.
But I'm just telling you, these guys are a lot of time aren't in phone service, and who's gonna check in for them, and then like at lunchtime, what about their lunchtime?
I understand that. So this is something Becky and I have been working on for a couple months. And
Why does Becky feel it's necessary?
this just makes everything a lot easier. It streamlined everything for time cards. There's no, like, it's instant. She doesn't have to go hunt down time cards. They instantly come into her office. This is something Black Mountain actually introduced us to Time Clock Plus. They work with Time Clock Plus. This is a system they work with. Time Clock Plus works with government.
Can you get Sarah to come in?
She doesn't know a lot about the Time Clock.
Well, I want to
Plus.
hear her opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I can.
She's on.
My opinion is gonna cost
Yeah.
that's overtime.
I don't know.
So what's the proposal?
To get time clock.
Huh?
The time clock.
Every day?
I just figured then you're gonna have guys checking in for each other, and that's not gonna be right either, 'cause, I mean, you got people down at Rock Creek, but, right, I just figured this, I mean, it's easy when
It's
you
not
come to work
practical.
and-
It's not practical for those people working out.
That's what I was trying to tell her, it's, you know, about the
For
road.
what? Not practical
For the road crew,
for the road crew, and then that would mean it's not
The week.
practical solid waste.
yeah.
And what do the department heads feel? How do they feel about it? Is this making it easier for Becky, just to make it easier for Becky?
That's what I was wondering.
Or is this easier for the whole?
Well, it's just like they said, then there'd be more on it, you know, they know more about what the road after this last load. That's why I said it's.
Hi.
Hi.
So have the department heads made a comment on this? They want this time clock in there, or?
I haven't, I've heard from a few different people asking about it. Just how is it gonna work for like the Area 5 people, and how is it gonna work for, you know, but I think that they've kind of got that sort of squared away, because there are lots of different ways of being able to get people logged in.
Like the Area 5 people and that'd be impossible for them.
We've actually figured it out between
So-
Jackie and I, and how she would like that implemented and how she wants that to work for the Area 5, and she is in favor of it for the Area 5 girls.
The only thing, because when you were talking to me about that, the only thing I was concerned is that I don't see how Pat can come all the way in here to log in and then go to wherever her house is, and then have to come all the way back
All the way
here.
back.
That I'm kind of a little.
You say you can do it from your phone or not?
Yeah, you can do it from your phone, but it's what, in talking to Jackie, is what she wanted for the Area 5 ladies to be able to do is, there's like a tablet that you can just affix to the public health office, and she wants them to be able to just come to the office and clock in and then go to their scheduled visits and then come and clock out on those. I've also spoke with the sheriff about it, and he is all in for it, and he likes the idea of it because his deputies can just immediately jump on their cell phones and clock in. As for how it would work with the road crew, is what Becky and I discussed, was they would just have a mobile kiosk like at the road shop, because that's where they would clock in and out for the day. As far as their lunch breaks, like we could easily just go in and adjust those for their lunch break that day.
Well, some of the days though, they work through their own, I mean, that's.
Well, they just would have to let us
It's gonna
know.
cost us a lot of overtime. I can see this happening.
Well, I think that's time management and knowing, you know, how long it takes to get from one job. And this is not just the road, this is everybody. That's where the time management thing, where I have a problem with the Area 5 coming to. But, you know, I don't know. I think there's so many different aspects to all of it. I think on the grand scheme of thing, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
And it's
counties
just, there's
in
gonna be a
Montana
lot
that
of,
use this system.
yeah.
So is this when they clock in, it inputs their time into the system then, or? So she doesn't have to do time cards?
She will just go in and approve them. She'll be able to see them in real time.
But
And-
then we still expect them to fill a time card out, so we know what they're actually doing. We've already voted on that, you know, so we we told Paul that we wanna know, it's just like Nate traveling back
Yeah.
and forth, you know, so do we lose all that? I mean, then we don't know exactly what they're doing, so we can go back when people ask us stuff, so just having a quick.
Mhm.
That'd be your guys' call on that.
So,
Both, but
They can do this on their phones, that's what you're talking about?
So, yeah, they could, but we could figure out which departments you would want to be able to do it on their phone. I mean, the only
So-
department I think that would really need to do it on their phone would be the sheriff's department.
When we have to buy everybody phones?
No, because I think the only department
Well,
that would
everybody
have
doesn't have a phone.
to do it would be the sheriff's department, would be the only department that would have to do
They
it on
have
their phone,
phones.
and they have phones. Everyone else would either do it on their computer or on like the kiosk, they would just key in and key out. The cool thing about this system though, is everybody can see in real time, have access to how much vacation time they've accrued, how much comp time they've accrued, how much sick time they've accrued. They can also key in like, I want this day off or this day off, and their department head can go in and approve or deny. And everyone can see it. It makes it so everybody can be on the same page for communication wise for their department.
So they're not on the same page now, is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, they might be, but it's just,
Yeah.
but it's an easier way for everyone to be able to communicate and kind of see, like, if,
This is a bad way to say it, but it seems like we're trying to micromanage them all. I mean, I think it's been working, hasn't it?
For 100, yeah.
mean,
I know I always felt that maybe we needed a time clock in the courthouse because there was
Yeah.
people that took advantage of office not being supervised. And that,
Yeah, and I mean.
but as far as vacation and sick, it's as near as a phone call. I mean, it's as near as anybody
Yeah,
wants to keep track. It's, and we're actually, we're not that big of a company, so to speak, that we need to supervise so strenuously their hours that they work. I don't know, that's what I see. It makes it easier for the payroll clerk, okay, but is it?
Yeah, and I don't, because I haven't actually seen the system, so I don't see it's that much easier. I think it's just, I mean, you're still having to look at all the number, I don't.
I just don't have the paper trail, so we can actually know what's.
Well,
going
that's
on.
why, yeah, I mean, we definitely need the road reports, absolutely. You know, so that you have the dates and you know where they are and what they're doing
and I see, I guess for me, it's like coming here, this is the only place I've ever worked where I've ever written down my time.
I just.
And I guess it's just, for me, I guess I was just looking at it and then talking to Becky, and we were just discussing things back and forth where it was like, well, something like this, like it would be easier, and the ability to have like document management on it just kind of like keeps everything in a central location.
Well, I'm gonna say this, everything is in a central location. The time cards are still down in the vault in the basement. Everybody's time card. I mean, and they're still on the system from, I think, 2003.
Yeah.
So it's not that everything's going to be together, because I was payroll clerk for 11 years, so, and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's no big deal to do the time cards and get the time turned in. It was when I did it manually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 5-day process. It ended up 2 days. 2
Right,
days?
2 days.
2
to get it
days.
done. So, I mean, that's what I see. The only thing that I see with this, you know,
All
is
I'm
just
saying-
how there's so many different ways of everybody, and then you've got the Area 5, and then you've got.
So, I mean, there's just so much, the week crews gonna have to go on it too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're
Absolutely.
getting.
I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
I appreciate your research on this. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think we're that big of a company or that big of a, where we need to have clocked in. I just feel that we have everything, payroll, all your ledgers, all, it even goes in archivable into the
Yeah.
commissioner's proceedings. So I don't think we need to add that necessary thing to the employee to have to clock in, do this, do that, do that. And for example, Patsy, who probably doesn't have a cell phone,
Right.
would have to come up, clock in and leave. It's inconvenient. That's how I feel.
I'm with you. You can tell I was kind of against it, but I mean, I really appreciate their work on this. I didn't mean to, I just
No, you're
figured it's gonna, and then you got guys that are gonna try to call in for each other, cause one guy's down here and, you know, I don't think, yeah, we're not set for this yet.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think that it would be fine, but that we do have things that are out there that it just make it so
Yeah.
too many different ways, like I was talking with you
Mhm.
yesterday when I was saying about.
Well, then you're gonna have Paul trying
And then
to
we-
check in for them guys too, time in and time out for them.
And then Linda Bach, and that she was one who was concerned too, she's like, well, how do I do it?
Yeah.
So, well, you know, those are all bugs that we have to sort out if we went to it.
Okay, we're gonna move on, so if any public discussion, like really quick. And if not, I don't see any motions coming out of here. So I think this will die for lack of a motion.
I agree.
Lack of emotion, okay.
I can make
It
a
says
motion
decision,
that
so
we-
there's no
Let's take
motion.
it under advisement
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, we'll think about it. So we're moving on to resolution 2021-9, increasing agency 5 budget as allowed by amended contract. Second reading,
She's got it right here.
I didn't have a problem with it.
I have the.
Yeah,
Oh, motion.
I
Oh, we already did motion.
nope. I haven't got- I
Seconded?
just got the highway
Yeah,
patrol.
is there a motion to adopt?
Yeah, I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-9. Oops. Scott seconds.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Any public comment?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Oh, all right. David?
We're in the same resolution yesterday. It's not done yet.
Okay, this is the time for courthouse maintenance request for updated locks with Janine Bonnie.
And she actually needed to cancel today. She called and she won't be making it.
Does she have a reason why we have to change the locks?
Are they sticking or clicking or? There was something she explained to me, but I can't quite remember what it was.
One question I had is, how many keys do we have out there that we don't know about? I mean,
Right.
if there's- So changing the main locks might be a good deal, but there might have been some other reason too.
Okay, well, we'll table this until she can be here. So we're gonna be off to 11.
What's that?
Scott's gotta leave to do a rec, so we're gonna do the board minutes. So is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we approve the board minutes for June 15th.
I'll second it.
all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay,
So
see
you
you
can be-
later. I hope there's no fatality.
I don't know, but that was, the highway patrol called me in the office, and just called and said,
All right,
see you guys.
thanks,
See ya.
Scott.
Good job. Good job on that.
Good job.
Okay, now we're on to discuss Phillipsburg television update. Expansion proposal, discussion and decision.
So, when the ARPA funds and the CARES monies, when they started talking about that and that it was, for broadband thing, we're kind of looking into seeing whether we can use any of the money for the TV stuff. So in the meantime, I talked with Bruce, our TV guy, who is taking over for Charlie, but he still does work with Charlie. And seeing what the best way, we've always kind of wanted to get a little bit more for Georgetown Lake and getting it better down in Phillipsburg. We'd like to someday get it out to Rock Creek and Maxville and, down, all over. So anyway, but in the meantime, so we've been having a lot of trouble with Phillipsburg the last couple of years, like for
Yeah.
2-3
PBS
months.
is in and out.
Yeah, PBS 2 years ago, this year, CBS was out for like
Yeah,
2 or 3 months, and we got lots of calls when the Final Four was going on. It happened to be CBS, like, and there wasn't that much to do. So what it turns out is that we just don't have a huge amount of power up there. It's only like 2 watts coming towards Phillipsburg. But if we did try to work on the thing, getting it towards Georgetown, and he can get a good deal on some other transmitters or something, he kind of explained what it was on there. And then they would be higher wattages, and so then we'd end up with 5 watts, which is more than twice what we're getting right now. One thing we don't have in there that I asked him about was getting Montana PBS to Phillipsburg.
oh, he
We
says
only have-
replacing it could
Right.
possibly, they could
They
beam
can
from.
beam it from Drummond.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there's one gentleman that he has heard of, not,
Oh,
doesn't
they
know
doesn't
who it
know.
is, that gets it up at Georgetown and take it off of their antenna and bring it up here. But probably better the other way he was talking about, which then I think you kind of get more things along the valley if we're
Yeah,
starting
maybe,
with the
yeah.
transmitters and getting the relay from Drummond to here to get the Montana PBS to Phillipsburg. I talked with Steve Imenshu. He is on the TV board for Phillipsburg. He wasn't able to make it today, so he did like that. And we just need to get the boards back and everybody
So-
talking and trying to figure it out.
Peaburg is the only one that's gonna need the 23.5.
Correct, and that would be for, or I guess getting Georgetown, but then you're kind of giving it to Deer Lodge too. if
Yeah.
we Do that, but it also makes it better for down here. I don't know how to make it more inclusive for the entire county. That's where I would like to be. And I don't know, it would be nice to get Charlie and Bruce down here to talk with us and get.
Do you get
other-
it? Do you have an antenna? Do you get it?
I-
Did you ever try?
I'm behind a hill. I don't think.
You don't think so?
So it's really weird because there are people that get it at places that I wouldn't even think they would. Like, I don't think Chuck Houts has direct line of sight, and I think he,
Yeah, but he's out in the open.
Gets the
I'm behind a hill.
right,
He's here, there's a hill here.
but I don't
It's
think
coming
he
from
has line of sight to Rumsey.
Hmm.
And that's what I've always kind of understood with the,
Yeah, you have to have a
Digital.
direct site to
you gotta be able
get
to,
it. And like,
but maybe,
And that's blocked.
okay.
We barely get cell phone.
yeah.
Okay.
So there's one of the things where if we could have strategically placed transmitters, which I don't understand all that, and what would we have to do? Because I'm not a TV guru.
See, the one thing that people are disappointed with is that we have PBS, but it's coming out of Spokane. And they want Montana PBS, and this would get them Montana
Right.
PBS.
But not I don't think that is factored into the,
Okay,
in the,
What are you looking at?
the proposal
Oh, and the
for the money, I
proposal.
don't think that's factored into that. I think that is strictly for getting Georgetown and getting it stronger down here. Scott was telling me that where his place is down, down what mile marker is it out of Drummond, that they don't get it very well down there. So I mean, that's where, it's just kind of Scott Adler. So, and then like.
He's supposed to be living in Drummond.
Right, that's what he's talking about.
Oh,
Their
in
house,
Drummond,
their
okay.
house down Frontage Road. So I'm trying to think of where Roxy's is.
Oh,
and
yeah,
there's
right.
Probably a couple hills, but.
So do
that's
they
what I was
kind of
saying.
want a booster there where they
Right,
get,
that's what I'm saying, do these transmitters that he is talking about. I mean, could we get a bunch of, and would those?
Yeah.
Those are all questions for, I would just really love for him to come in and talk with you guys, but it's from his thing, it said there's only 20 more of these transmitters
Yeah.
and we need.
well, I know that Scott approves it, I approve it,
Yeah, so I'm outvoted, so
yeah.
whatever you want.
We need to just figure out what we need and how much is in,
Should I find it? Oh, yeah, I'll get they each have like 20 or something.
yeah, well, we are okay with it. We'll just figure how much we need during budget process. That work?
So, but do we
Well-
want to have Charlie come down? I mean, do you think? maybe
No,
we
I
could
think
have-
Charlie's, he doesn't ever try to overspend or try to throw
Right.
something at us that we don't need.
So that would be maybe something later on when we do have the boards together that they could meet with him and Bruce
Yeah.
and kind of get a plan of how to get it more. More.
So
But I
you
think
wanna
that we
approve
should
this?
probably, I think maybe I should probably talk to him and find out about seeing the additional cost and what to do to get the PBS from Drummond
Yeah,
down here
okay,
too.
yeah,
And maybe.
yeah, we wanna do
getting-
that.
And maybe getting them a little more powerful
Yeah.
if we're, and getting all of that together before coming
But
back
that's
to you.
separate from this, right?
Well, it's actually trying to make sure that we fund both districts. Quick.
Well, both of them evenly, just like
Yeah.
how we try to do, well, we absolutely with the senior citizens, they get the taxes.
So you wanna make a motion to do this and take it out of pill unless we can get it out of this,
ARPA or the
ARPA.
CARES money, if we've got some of that.
if we can get it out of ARPA, we'll take it out of ARPA.
Yeah. Yes, I make that motion, what you said.
Yes, I said.
Do whatever we have to
Scott
get
did
free
say he'd say.
TV for everybody in Granite County.
We want free TV for everybody in
Do you wanna
Grand.
give a dollar amount in your motion, or is it more just you're willing to make
Willing-
improvements to it?
Because we don't know, make the
Make
improvements,
improvements to it.
yeah.
No, I think we ought to do this dollar amount, shouldn't we?
No,
Well, because that's
We might
not
need more.
exactly, because like I said, he only had the amount for doing the Phillipsburg stuff, the Georgetown Lake and Phillipsburg, and I'd like to see. I don't think he had included Drummond, maybe getting them a little bit more and bringing, which would be more Phillipsburg, and bringing the PBS down from Drummond.
Well, I think we should have some sort of dollar amount.
Or how about, you're willing to,
Up to-
you're willing to budget the money in the next fiscal year to make that, so you guys can do work sessions on it and figure out the exact amount. But just say you're willing to budget the amounts needed to make those improvements.
I make a motion that we look at a budget for getting the necessary funding to fix both districts.
To improve, to improve.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
I'm
To
working
improve.
on it.
To
And we'll
improve-
look at that in your budget process.
And look at it during the budget process, what funds we need
Yeah. So that doesn't mean
From
definitely.
Pilt
that-
or-
from PILT
Yeah.
or ARPA,
It's an agreement to agree that you're.
an
willing to
agreement
look
to agree.
I'm happy with that, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, and then just find out what we
Yeah.
could booster them down there, that'll make them happy. And PBS coming up here from Montana, they even will have the Montana legislature on PBS. So you should shoot your antenna up a little higher, you can watch it on
Well,
TV.
maybe with it being at 5 watts rather than 2 watts, it'll make it through that hill.
I'll
I've
watch
never
on the
understood
computer.
in the big cities where, I mean, here, I have to have my antenna looking straight at the transmitter. But you can have stuff inside your house, behind walls in the bigger cities, and it's like, how does that work?
Huh.
I don't understand.
So you agreeable to second that then?
So I have,
I guess I,
I have motion to look at making improvements to the TV district during the budget process.
Yes.
Excellent.
That was,
Yeah,
That was
okay,
the
yep,
essence of it.
ARPA or Phil?
ARPA or Phil?
Alrighty.
Okay, and I
I
second.
gotta go. get in.
Any
Second.
public discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
So, yeah, I think you could tie it to ARPA with saying the public safety for to have people have notification, yes, there's your tie, it can be,
your COVID
you can use ARPA.
mitigation,
Cool.
yeah, anything you can
But
tie.
I guess the issue is though, is your ARPA already, I mean, is the bathroom project and elevator project gonna be, and the jail gonna be 656? But I guess if you have available funds and to use that, the law will allow it to be, so issue is.
So is it gonna cost 656 to do the bathrooms and the elevator?
Well, you got the jail on top of that, but yeah, so it's all gonna be, have to go
Capital
out for bid.
improvements, I think with building right now are gonna be really expensive. I would plan on it.
Yeah, I would, the jail is gonna be 100,000, I think, with that, at least with the
Yeah,
padded cell.
yeah, I've been looking at, I've been doing research.
No,
on
it's
that.
still
Much
550,000.
more
Yeah.
complicated.
But, so hopefully you have
Yeah,
funds in there.
okay.
And we still have funds for the elevator, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we just.
Yes, to add to it, so yeah, there should be.
Well, we've been collecting 7,000 a year for probably easy 15 years more,
So there's
maybe
over-
more, maybe
over
20
100.
years.
Over 100, maybe
Yeah.
over 200. So, yeah.
That's
you
how
can
we got
supplement
by with
that.
it. We're saving for an elevator.
Well, it appeases the ACLU as well, as long as they know you have a plan to get the money.
Yeah, but I want to get it done.
Yeah, I agree. And ARP is the way.
High tech COVID mitigation, high.
So we got everything in place in here,
Yeah, so, yeah, Sarah and I requested the funds last week, so we're on the right track.
Oh, okay. For ARPA?
Yeah,
Good.
moving on up.
I think when it comes down to it, they're not gonna be as picky as they're saying, but as long as you can tie it to public health like that and notification,
Yeah.
what better way?
Yeah.
For free, people have free access to it. And then the state's doing the broadband stuff, so hopefully
Yeah, I
that,
gotta look, they said if you wanna do the broadband, Mako is suggesting you get with Mako and they will help you partner with the state. Is kind of what I've been seeing in the town halls and stuff that I've been attending.
So would the TV districts then go through?
I've been talking to Deborah Cranston and I haven't. It gets so complicated, cause it's like, well, who owns the towers? What land is the tower?
it's Forest Service.
It was-
something.
It was complicated and, I got with Sarah to send her some responses and we just haven't heard back.
But that'd be additional money, I mean, this is money you guys that could
Yeah.
still out of your 656.
So do we know who doesn't have broadband?
You know, I think there's, to me, there's broadband here, but I don't think it's
I
the
think
latest
it'd be
graded,
a-
yeah, so. I think that's what the state's doing, looking to see where it can be, and then they're gonna have opportunity where potentially we can apply for a grant then for it.
Yeah, I need to look at it a little bit more. the town hall on Friday, there was like one county that was starting to look at it, but most of the town hall was really focused on that, allotted funds that the state has through House Bill 632 for the infrastructure. So, but I think there'll be more to come about the broadband. It just kind of, Jason was saying if it's something that your county's interested in doing, to reach out, because it sounds like it's a more complicated process than it looks to be on the surface.
Yeah, still just in the beginning stages.
So we're in public comment now. Lena? Elena,
Thank you. I had to wait to be unmuted. First of all, I want to say, Blaine, fine, I heard you nice and clear. I don't know what you were doing, but we heard you nice and clear. The rest, all morning long, didn't hear at all. Especially one of the commissioners who's not here right now likes to mumble and you don't hear him at all. So I just want to bring that up. The other thing I have is I noticed that the new website is up. Thank you, Billy, for having the little note to go to the new website. I noticed that on the new county address is Granite County, Montana.us. Granite County MT.us. That's the new website, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. And the email addresses, does that have to be changed? Because I'm seeing co.granite.mt.us.
No, they
So
don't.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then one other thing, everybody has their own individual email address with their names, except the county commissioners. However, Blanche is the only one of the 3 commissioners that does have her name associated.
You got one.
They all have one.
Chuck has one. It's the C Hinkle, and then Scott is S Adler at CO.
Well, I don't see that on the website.
On the website, we just list the commissioner one because it just kind of goes to a general commissioner inbox that all the commissioners have access to. So we just chose to list just that one in general for the commissioners. It kind of helps so they don't get a bunch of like spam emails and that sort of thing.
Well, I think it should go to their names because the way it was before, the commissioners don't look at commissioners.Granite County. So they miss a number of emails that go to them, and they should have their individual emails.
Elena, I checked both the commissioner and mine.
Haven't you checked as well? You have both on your.
And
I think so.
Chuck's nodding his head saying he does too.
Well, there was one where I believe FERC said they sent a email to the commissioner's address and people didn't get it, or some confusion about that.
that could be, but I checked it.
Yeah, that could.
Oh, well, I don't understand why it's a problem in putting your names on it. So this way, if somebody wants to get in touch with Chuck, it goes to Chuck. If it wants to be Blanche, it goes to Blanche. I don't see a problem with that.
Thank you for your comment.
Well, okay, good. You've got it. Blanche, I'll get in touch with you later about, I think also Mr. Adler walking out during a meeting. I don't think that's right. I'm sorry. Thank you. My comment.
I think the little ad in the newspaper with that talks about the minutes, that might need updated with the new website. Maybe 2 weeks ago I looked at it. And
Oh, on the note of the website, when they came in and we were going through some final things on the website, they did ask me about their final payment, and I said I would bring that up to you guys today when I saw you guys,
Are they,
and that I have no control over.
are we done? Are you signing off with them?
I think it looks good. I mean, I think, have you guys played around on it and looked at it? And how do you guys feel about it? And Blaine, how do you feel about it?
Good, as long as
I
I
have
get the
the
info on
training
how I can put stuff,
documents,
documents.
and they're gonna come
Okay,
sit
put
down.
it on the
with
agenda
me.
for next week.
Yes, I will.
So-
Sorry.
Elena's comment on Scott leaving the office early, he requested permission to leave early because he had to go on a
He
run.
requested to.
He requested and you gave
He was
him,
requested to go
huh?
from the state
Yeah.
patrol, yeah.
Yeah, he was requested from the highway patrol to go on this run, and Blaine, can he request to leave and leave this meeting?
I think it's my
Yeah,
decision.
I mean, I think what she's saying is, she thinks you should stay for the meeting or whatever is a good practice or whatever, but, as far as, being able to leave occasionally.
Well, I think that's my
You can't stop
decision,
her.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, the chair could say, yeah. They need to stay.
you know, if there was something really important, I looked at it and I said, well, you know, I really need it here. I'd have said no. You know, but there wasn't.
And he was asking for your
Yeah.
permission too.
Yeah. So I don't know if you caught that, Elena, but he did ask permission to leave and the chairman gave him permission to leave.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
Okay, we're on correspondence also, but there wasn't any.
There wasn't any.
And we did the board minutes.
Oh, Elena has another comment. I'd like to respond.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, am I allowed to speak now? Because somebody
Mhm.
mentioned my name. Thank you. The point being, I understood that they're supposed to take turns, they being the towing, there's 2 towing outfits. And I understand they're supposed to take turns being called. And it seems to me that on a Tuesday, when he's at a commissioner's meeting, he shouldn't be interrupted. This is my personal opinion. Also, there's several times I've seen him looking at his personal phone during the meetings and getting up and walking out with his personal phones. I've seen that happen also. So as a member of the public, and again, the commissioners work for the public, these are the problems I have with Commissioner Adler. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Cadastral did show the parking lot, at least the parking area closest to Abbott's, that section says county, and then next to that, to the north, part of that area
Is county.
counties, but I'm gonna have Linda double check that. It's showing on cadastral county, doesn't mean that's fully correct, but usually they are correct, so we'll double check it.
So and I can remember that the county, don't they plow it in the wintertime, the parking lot for the school?
I don't think in recent times, but we
Oh.
could ask Paul,
Almost been
maybe in the
long.
past, maybe in the past. I'm thinking it's the town crew probably doesn't, but
Oh,
don't quote me on that.
yeah, don't quote me either. So it is county property.
I'll verify if that's what cadastral shows.
I still think other people should come up with some money to do it.
Why doesn't the
Yeah.
town just charge for parking? Put in parking.
Yeah, put parking meters.
Raise
Wouldn't
money.
that be something?
That's, as you should say, we as a county will work with you on making it happen contingent upon you guys doing that. Coming up with some funds to add to it.
I could just
But
start charging
it-
people for parking.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be, yeah, you could charge for parking to do, but it doesn't need to be paid for people to use it either. There could be some,
Yeah, if there's a lot of tourists,
yeah.
it'd have to be paved and marked, I think.
It'd be a
Gate it
fight.
off and charge them. Hire someone to stand out
You know,
there.
keep a
Yeah.
big mess up
Direct
there.
parking.
Probably, you're probably right, but you could say, we're willing to work with you and allow this to happen in the summers if the town would look at parking, pay parking.
Well, right now, the wear and the tear of anything that a tourist does is on the burden of the taxpayer.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
and people, if they're staying up there, they would pay. I mean, you're not going to an RV park. So,
And you expect to pay stuff like that when you go to move
Yeah.
tourist towns. I mean, I do.
but I'd put it all in the town as far as, as far as noise and other stuff, I'd put it on them to come up with the regulations on it. So you guys, the county, not in the middle, but
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Say the county buys a lot though and just starts charging people and then shut them. Filming during like the road.
Can we turn it over to the city? Say, here, you can do what you want.
Convey it to the city.
Why do we?
Yeah. I don't. That's always gonna be a parking lot for the school districts. I think you should convey it to the school districts.
Yeah,
Why they didn't in the past, I do not know.
which still makes it county though, doesn't it?
Well, then the,
School
but then the
district.
district controls it though. I
Yeah,
mean, you
district
guys, yeah.
controls. That's a good idea.
Well, I think we can adjourn.
Okay,
Do you want that on the agenda or what? As far as that property or
For discussion.
for discussion? The Phillipsburg School parking lot.
Giving it to the
Ownership
school
issue
district?
and discuss, yeah, ownership issues,
yeah,
semicolon discussion. And Linda has a file on Black Pine. Mine doesn't have a map in it, so she's gonna give me a copy of her maps. So figure out for sure. where
has she got her research almost
She's done a lot.
complete? I know she's done a lot of work.
Who?
Linda Bach. on
Especially all the stuff in
researching.
Georgetown, and you
Yeah.
know what county and not county up there. Granted, we're still, do you think we wouldn't have an issue with Garnett Road? All right, thanks a lot.
Are you guys adjourned? Motion?
Hmm?
Did you guys all motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Wondering if I could stop
Okay,
you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we're going off.